everyone, I hope you are all doing great. In the last video, our first day in central Vietnam ended in the most dramatic way possible. A fire-breathing dragon under real lightning. And at the end, I promised you something special. A bridge held up by two giant hands. So today I'm keeping that promise. You have probably seen this bridge in a photo, even if you never knew its name. Today we are going there. And after that, an ancient temple city deep in the jungle and an old town that turns magical after dark, lit by thousands of lanterns. So let's get into it. So our first stop was Hoi An, the Golden Bridge. In the last few years this became one of the most famous sites in all of Vietnam. It's the bridge held up by two giant stone hands. The bridge sits in the Banh Mi Phuong mountain resort, and since it opened in 2018, it's been one of the most photographed places in the country. And here's the honest part. This was the first and also the last place on our whole trip where we ran into a truly insane tourist crowd. All of that completely off-season. I don't even want to imagine what high season looks like up there. By the way, the bridge is about 150 meters long and sits roughly 1400 meters above sea level. It was designed to look like two giant moss-covered stone hands lifting it out of the mountainside. In reality, the hands are made of reinforced concrete, but the surface was crafted to look like centuries-old stone sculptures. And it worked so well that tourists basically stormed the place right after it opened. We tried to avoid crowds during the entire trip. Here, it was impossible. And by the way, this was also the first place where we met truly European entrance prices. The complex is called Sun World, and the Golden Bridge isn't the only thing up there. Besides many Buddhist statues and gardens, they also built a complete France. It's called the French Village. Streets, squares, and buildings in French style line up next to each other. And honestly, that part wasn't very interesting for us, but since we were already there, of course we looked at it. What was genuinely spectacular though was the cable car. The ride up to the complex takes almost 20 minutes, while jungle, waterfalls and mountain slopes pass below you. The ride alone is an experience. After escaping the tourist army, we drove to My Son, one of the most important historical and archaeological sites in Vietnam. It's often called the Vietnamese Angkor. Of course, it's much smaller than the Angkor Wat in Cambodia. It lies deep in the central Vietnamese jungle and it was once the religious center of the Champa kingdom. Before Vietnam existed in its current form, central Vietnam was ruled for centuries by the Cham. They were strongly influenced by Indian culture, followed Hinduism and had their own language and their own architecture. The place has an incredible atmosphere. The whole time I felt like I was walking through the set of an old Mortal Kombat movie. The red brick temples, the jungle, the humid air, it all comes together into something very special. After the trip we drove back to Hoi An. By the time we arrived, it was already dark. So in the end we explored the town in the evening light. And the nightlife in Hoi An is completely different from Bangkok, Saigon or even Da Nang. It's not about loud clubs and partying until sunrise, it's about the atmosphere. Many people love Hanoi exactly for this. In the evening, it feels like you have stepped into another era. It's beautiful during the day too, but after sunset, it becomes truly magical. Thousands of colorful lanterns light up to the street. The Tuban River reflects the lights, and the boats decorated with lanterns. The streets fill with music, people and life. Many travelers call this one of the most atmospheric evenings in all of Vietnam. And honestly, we can fully confirm that. Many streets that are packed with traffic during the day turn into one giant market at night. And here you can find everything. For example, a Rolex for €50. You can buy almost anything as fake here. Sometimes even the fakes get faked. We kept running into famous brands where the logo was slightly off or exactly one letter in the name was different. And it's also completely normal that someone opens a restaurant right next to a popular one with almost the same name. They look so similar that at first glance you don't even notice the difference. In that sense, I wouldn't exactly call them creative, but entrepreneurial, absolutely. After the lantern-lit evening, we slept in properly, maybe for the first time on the whole trip. And don't get me wrong, we didn't sleep badly anywhere, but there was always a program. Of course, we wanted it that way. Still, it felt amazing to go down for breakfast at 9 instead of 7. And even after breakfast, we didn't rush into town. We jumped into the pool, relaxed in the room, and only headed out around noon. The old town of Hanoi is perfect to explore on foot, so we use no taxi and no Grab here. And in this town there is a very famous sandwich shop, Banh Mi Phuong. Banh Mi is a sandwich-like dish, and this place became world famous because Anthony Bourdain, a famous French chef, ate here in the 2000s and called it one of the best sandwiches in the world in one of his shows. Is it really the best one in the world? I don't know. What I do know is that it's seriously good, and that nowhere else in all of Vietnam did we eat a better banh mi. Also, it's incredibly cheap. The bread itself came to the country with the French during the colonial era, basically a smaller, lighter baguette, but the feeling it's completely Vietnamese. And that's exactly what makes it special. There are hundreds of versions, but the most famous versions are usually spread with liver paste and filled with vegetables, pickled vegetables, meat, and different kind of sauces. By the way, in Vietnamese cooking it's completely normal to combine different kinds of meat, and the banh mi shows that exactly. After the first bite, you completely understand why this sandwich became a cult. After the food, we looked at a few pagodas and temples. And then came the main part of the day, exploring the shopping street. You could call it shopping day. Actually, something we basically never do. Compared to other tourists walking around with several full bags, our entire haul fit easily into a small backpack. For us, shopping is usually done with one fridge magnet. We don't like coming home with all kinds of stuff. The same goes for clothes. We think it's completely unnecessary to buy things you will never wear at home. A perfect example is the Vietnamese bamboo hat. It looks good, it's nice, the locals wear it perfectly, then you bring it home and you realize you will probably never put it on again. In the streets you can find practically everything, but what Hoi An is really famous for are the tailors. There are hundreds of tailor shops in this town, and many tourists came exactly for this. Suits, shirts, dresses, shoes, leather bags. Almost anything made to measure. And the craziest part, in many cases within a single day. You walk in the morning, they take your measurements, you choose the fabric, and in the evening you can already try on the finished piece. And we are not talking about cheap tourist trap quality. They do genuinely good work. It's not an accident that many people arrive here in Hoi An with an empty suitcase and leave with a whole new wardrobe. In the end, we resisted the temptation. Although I admit for a moment or two, I did think about how it would feel to bring home a tailored suit as a souvenir from Vietnam. So that was central Vietnam. A bridge held by a giant hand above the jungle, an ancient temple city of a kingdom that ruled here long before Vietnam existed, and a town that turns into pure magic after dark. After the drama of the dragon and the lightning, these 2 days felt like the calm, beautiful heart of the trip. But our journey wasn't over, because next we said goodbye to Hoi An and headed into the south of the country. Sand dunes that looks like a desert, ancient temples, glittering salt fields, and at the end, the biggest city in Vietnam. And that's the next video. If you're enjoying this series, subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the south. Peace.